It'll be a couple of months yet before we know the details of how policing will be affected by the government's budget cuts. Our biggest force, the West Midlands, is anticipating losing £100 million and more than 2,000 jobs.
Well, the country's smallest force, Warwickshire, has a savings target of £13.4 million within 4 years. So could private security firms fill any gaps?
Well, in Kenilworth, there are plans for wardens paid for by local people to patrol the streets, although Warwickshire Police insist they won't replace uniformed regular officers.
A company called Community Street Wardens is behind the scheme, charging residents and businesses £10 a month. Our reporter Sarah Falkland is in Kenilworth. Sarah, this is quite unusual, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, there are plenty of private security patrols up and down the country, but most of them are funded by local authorities. The difference with this one is it's, as you say, a private firm. They're asking householders here in Kenilworth to dig deep. They're asking for a tenner a month for their services, and they obviously feel that they found, well, a hole in the market. He may look like a policeman, he may act like a policeman, but he's not. Alan Kerr is a partner in a private security firm setting up in Kenilworth. They want to charge residents £10 a month for their services.
And the service will include a fast response unit that will call out to any antisocial behaviour, a holiday watch, whereas if they go away for a few weeks, we'll actually monitor the house on a regular basis. If they have noisy neighbours problems, or if they want any sort of mediation.
Kenilworth is one of the safest towns in one of our safest counties, but with savings of £14 million to be found over the next 4 years, Warwickshire Police Force could lose 1 in 4 officers. The police say there will be areas they overlap with a new private firm, but they will be cooperating.
I think it's very innovative. It's something new for Kenilworth. It's something we've not experienced before, so I think it's important for us to approach it with an open mind. Clearly, Warwickshire Police offer a good service in the town. We have a low level of crime anyway, and antisocial behaviour has been falling for a number of years. So I do question whether there's actually a market for an additional service in the town anyway.
But the Police Federation in Warwickshire have described this as a dangerous step. They say they're worried that it could lead to a situation where policing is purely the prerogative of the well-off. So what do people here in Kenilworth think of it?
Not bad, £10 a month if you've got a property worth looking after.
We're not going to get the level of policing that we've been used to, so maybe we'll have to have a rethink about that.
I would say if you really thought there was a problem, then I'd snap it up. As if they're taking advantage of the situation we're in because the police are short-staffed.
Peace of mind then, but at a price. Well, Kenilworth, of course, a town historically used to defending itself. See the castle behind me. With me is local Tory councillor Norman Vincent. Norman, what do you think of this then?
Well, I'm quite relaxed about it, and I think the council is too. And if the exercise that is planned can complement our police service, then we welcome it.
Well, the phone behind it keeps stressing, you know, they're not the police. If you have an emergency, dial 999. They've even had to change their uniform, I understand, because they were looking a bit too much like the police.
Well, you had one on me there regarding the uniform, but they certainly changed their name. They had neighbourhood in their name initially, but in discussions with the police, and they've amicably agreed to change their name.
Now, some people we spoke to said, oh, a tenner a month in this days of cuts and budgets and everything, too much. But they do get, I think, 20% discounts from quite a number of local businesses in the town. So it's good for the local economy, isn't it?
Well, that's right, and this is what they're aiming to do, is to get arrangements, you know, with the local businesses, and I think that's good for the community all round. So if it does take off, I think it would be good for the town all round.
Councillor Norman Vincent, thank you very much. A tenner a month then for peace of mind in your town and at home. The first patrols are due to begin at the end of November.
Sarah, thanks very much indeed. Actually, earlier today we asked you what you thought of the idea of a private security firm coming onto the streets like this, and Tom from Kenilworth says he's outraged. This is the job of the police. As a parent, I don't want a private security guard patrolling the streets and parks and speaking to my children.
And Dave from Lower Gaul says that there'd be no need for private security firms if the police patrolled the streets instead of sitting in patrol cars waiting for the public to do their job for them.
One final comment from a viewer in Birmingham. As cuts bite, crime is going to rise. We're going to see more and more private-type policing on our streets. Sadly, it's the only option. Thank you very much, all of you who got in touch.